Hello, and welcome back to the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. I'm Christine Shaw, Executive Director of the Arlington Council on Aging. We're really happy to have you here with us today. Thank you so much to everybody who watched our first show, which was recorded last month. We really appreciate all of the calls and the feedback we received on the show. A lot of you submitted some great ideas for what you would like to see in the future of the show. We've taken down all your ideas and all your feedback and will continue to do so. So we're very excited that we're now underway, and this is our second episode of the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. Just an overview, the Council on Aging works with residents age 60 plus that live in the town of Arlington for a variety of needs. And on this show, we'll be giving an overview of kind of what the latest and greatest things going on around town are for seniors, and also highlighting our programs that we have here at the Council on Aging. So if this is your first time with us, welcome. Feel free to always call or reach out to the Council on Aging by calling 781-316-3400. We're happy to hear your feedback or ideas at any time. For this episode, we're going to kick off by talking about one of our most robust and longstanding programs that we have here at the Council on Aging for seniors age 60 plus in Arlington, and that is our transportation program. Most of our transportation program is funded through a community development block grant. We're very lucky to receive that so that we can run an extremely robust transportation program featuring a variety of transportation services that we can offer seniors in Arlington. So I'm thrilled to have with us today Michelle Say. She is our volunteer and transportation supervisor here at the Council on Aging.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. It's nice for everybody to see your face. A lot of people might talk to you on the phone, but this might be some people's first time hearing about our transportation program. So Michelle's position is funded through the Community Development Block Grant, as is much of our transportation services. And actually the first week of April is Community Development Week in Arlington. So we're extra thrilled to talk about a lot of our different transportation programs that we have here. So Michelle, welcome again. Happy to have you. Michelle started with us in July. And Michelle, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe what you used to do before your time here at the COA?
Sure. So again, my name is Michelle Say, and I used to work in Boston University Medical Center, and I was doing sustainability transportation. So promoting transportation in a green way. So right now, I am in the Council on Aging and doing transportation with seniors and helping seniors to get rides to different varieties of needs. So medical appointments and maybe in-town errands, things like that.
Great, thank you. We felt really lucky to have Michelle join our team based on her background, but also how friendly and open she is with everybody that calls to help solve their transportation and also volunteer needs. Michelle handles transportation, but she also handles our volunteer programs. And so that's a piece we'll probably talk about in future episodes, but Michelle is your go-to person for all things volunteering as well. But getting back to transportation, Michelle, I was thinking we would go through and kind of talk about the different transportation options we have. But first, do you want to give just a little idea for what kind of your day in the life as the transportation supervisor at the COA is like? What is your typical day?
Sure. So a typical day will be making sure all the rides that people would call and leave me a message, because right now with the pandemic and also because of the construction in our office, so we are mostly working from home. So we'll be checking voicemail So people will be leaving me voicemails about their rides, no matter it's medical related or in-town errands. So they will be leaving me message regarding, Wednesday, I would like to go to Stop and Shop, and can you arrange me a ride in the morning? So I would call every single one of them back and then put them in the system. And so our van driver or the taxi cab company will be picking them up for their medical appointments or for their in-town errands. And then after that, probably I will be checking schedule, making sure the next day, so communicating with the driver and also to making sure that everything will be laid out right, no times that will be overlapping with each other. So making sure the van is picking up all the seniors that wherever they need to go.
That's great. And I know it's a really busy day. You're running basically a little, I like to say, our very own little MBTA here in Arlington for seniors. So I know it can be a lot to juggle and with the phone calls and the scheduling, and you do a really great job at it.
Thank you.
So let's go through some of those things you just talked about. You mentioned medical rides. So if someone has a need to get to a medical appointment, what should they do?
So they should give me a call and let me know the date, the time, and the locations. The best thing that they can do is 48 hours ahead, 48 business hours ahead, and they can leave me their name, their phone number, and their date that they need to have the appointment, and also the time for their appointment, and obviously the locations. And then I'll give them a call back and confirm with them that what time I will have the taxi or the van picking them up. And basically that's it.
Great. So do you take people to medical appointments outside of Arlington too?
Yes. So we use the taxi to bring them to a medical appointment that is outside of the town of Arlington.
Perfect. That's great. And as far as rides inside of Arlington go, what are the types of places that our transportation takes people that need rides?
Yeah, so medical rights, we within Arlington, we are taking them to dental eye appointments and obviously medical appointments. And also we do in-town errands. So if people want to go to Stop and Shop, Trader Joe's, Whole Food, or any shops that they would prefer to go to for errands, we will bring them to the locations.
Great, great. And how far in advance should they call for in-town rides?
Also, if they can give me 48 business hours, that would be great, because sometimes we have other appointments to other riders that need the same time. So it would be best if they can give me at least 48 hours ahead.
Perfect, perfect. I know Arlington is really lucky to have the Sanborn Foundation here in town. They help residents with all different needs related to being diagnosed and treated for cancer. Can you share just a little bit about what our transportation does with the Sanborn Foundation?
Sure. So if we have someone that needs Sanborn transportation or a ride for their appointments, so they would also the same thing. They would give me a call and leave me a message regarding their date, the time, and the locations that they are going to, and then I would call them back and confirm with them that there will be a taxi picking them up for the Sanborn ride.
Great. And how much does it cost people if they're taking a Sanborn ride?
So for the Sanborn ride, it is free because the Sanborn Foundation is providing the rides, so they do not need to pay for anything. So which is awesome.
That is awesome. That's really great. So if any resident, this is one of our programs too, that's any resident, any age, is undergoing cancer treatment or related to cancer treatment, they can call our office and call Michelle at 781-316-3403 and talk to Michelle, and she can help you with your Sanborn rides or any ride that you might need. So
correct.
Aside, it looks like we've covered medical rides outside of Arlington. We've covered medical and non-medical rides within Arlington. I would love to kind of talk about, since we're talking about in Arlington rides, our COA vans that people might have seen going around town. I know we actually have live with us today one of our COA van drivers, Jim Muncie. with us. And I would love to invite Jim on the show to join Michelle and I.
Good morning.
Hi, Jim. Good
Hi.
morning. Thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you, one of our favorite van drivers here. Welcome. Jim's a part of a team of van drivers we have here at the COA. We have Jim, Carl, Bob, and Mike. They all have various backgrounds, and they've all been with us for quite some time now. We're really lucky to have them. Jim, what did you do before you started driving the van for us at the COA?
Well, depends on what decade you talk about. I've had experience as a software engineer. I've been a entrepreneur, owning my own business for 10 years. And 100 years ago, I used to work for Brigham's, for those people that remember that place. I worked in the stores, and I worked in the main office, and I had a Brigham's office in downtown Boston as the employment manager. So it's a good variety. Yeah.
Awesome.
But when I retired from Fidelity Investments, I very quickly said I got to find something to occupy myself with, and I found the COA through my niece Laura, and I've been here for almost 9 years now.
Well, we've been really lucky to have you for the past 9 years, for sure. I know the seniors that you drive all really enjoy working with you. And it's kind of important to point out that our van has been running throughout most of the pandemic. We've changed some of our policies and procedures to make sure everybody is safe. But Jim, what was it like driving the van before all of this coronavirus pandemic? And what is it different about it now?
That's night and day. Before the pandemic, it was a social environment. And one of the reasons people use the van is to get to the senior center, because they were out there for social aspects and different functions and bingo and lunch. And the van seats 8 people. And especially on Wednesdays, I'd have to make 2 runs to get all the people back and forth, because I couldn't get them all in one van run. And all you heard was the whole time they're on the van. And it's great because it gets that social interaction moving. And now it's only one rider at a time. So I'm lucky that the people I carry are conversationalists. So I get to talk with them one-on-one and learn more about some of those people.
Absolutely. I know we're all excited for the days when we have full vans coming and going from our center into all their activities and appointments around town. And we're happy that we've been able to continue offering the service, but we definitely miss the social aspect as well. But hopefully we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and we'll be, announcing possibly in the fall or so when we might have more people on the van at one time and make it more of a fun ride again. But Jim, do you mind sharing some of the, things that are different about riding the van now and what we're trying to make sure people do as far as wearing masks and possibly cleaning between the passengers?
Oh yeah, definitely. Wearing masks is a big point of contact with everybody. Some people walk out of their houses as soon as I see them. If they don't have their mask on, I'll yell up to them so they don't get too far from the door, and they run back in and get their mask. But they are very aware of the fact that they need to wear it. I don't have to try to talk them into it. And they socially distant from me on the van by sitting back a few seats. So, and it's because I encourage it. I don't want them to feel like, they have to be worried about whether they're going to get the disease from me or pass it on to me. But I usually let the regular riders know I've already had my 2 vaccination shots. So hopefully that's going to be a good wall, along with the mask and the social distancing, so they feel comfortable.
Great. That's great. That's wonderful. And, one thing that we haven't covered yet is the fees for riding the van and what it costs. We've been very lucky, especially recently, we've received some generous grants from Leahy Hospital and Medical Center and also MAPC to help us pay for extra cab rides that are needed because we can't fit as many people on the van as we used to keep everybody safe. So I wanted to point out that any medical rides, whether they're in a taxi or on the van right now, are available at no charge to those in Arlington, which is a pretty amazing service and not one that I think many other organizations can offer people in town right now. So please to schedule your medical ride specifically. There's no charge. Call Michelle at 781-316-3403. And then Jim, for rides that aren't medically related within Arlington, what are the pricing? What's the pricing for that?
Yeah, normally when we're within Arlington, we're taking people to either medical appointments or to hairdresser appointments or food shopping. And that's $1.50 each way. So it's no big deal. But that's going to the senior center, which we don't do anymore because of the construction. But going shopping back and forth to your house is $3 each way. So we take a look at that. And when people are in a position where it's really going to be tough, I mean, I'll sometimes throw the dollars in there just to cover it for them. It's just not right that people shouldn't be able to get out of their house and get what they need.
I agree. And transportation is something that I think is in the news frequently as something that is an obstacle or a hurdle to people being able to age where they would like to age. And if they want to stay, in a more suburban environment, Arlington, we're lucky that people can walk a lot of places, but not everywhere. So we are very lucky to have transportation options for people so that they can stay independent and get around to their errands and appointments and grocery shopping if they'd like to independently using our van or taxis. So really appreciate Jim, your part in getting people around, and Michelle, your part in keeping everything organized and running as far as the transportation department goes. And there's a lot of different options we've talked about here in our transportation programs. We also have a taxi voucher program. So if you are looking to schedule your own taxi rides within Arlington at a discounted coupon rate, we have a program called Dial a Ride that we're happy to help explain to you. You can give us a call at 781-316-3400, and we're happy to explain that program to you and get you some tickets. And we also want to make sure to mention that our vans are both fully wheelchair accessible. They both have lifts, so if you're a wheelchair user, we can accommodate you as well. And if you have medical rides outside of Arlington, we work with a chair car company to arrange those rides too. So don't shy away from calling if you are a wheelchair user. We want to make sure you get where you need to go as well, of course. Is there any parting thoughts, Michelle or Jim, before we go today?
No, I think we covered most of the things.
Yeah, I do have one. I just want to add, when we talk about the wheelchair lift, if you're using a rollator or a walker and you find climbing the stairs to get into the van, the wheelchair lift is something we use to be able to get people in and out of the van without major physical challenges. So just because it's called a wheelchair lift doesn't mean it's the only reason we use it.
Great point, John. Great point. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll get a lot of calls, and hopefully some people in Arlington watching this have learned that we have a transportation program, that we have vans that run around town constantly during the week, and that we have other relationships to help them get where they need to go. So Michelle and Jim, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you both. Thanks so much for listening to that. We're really always happy to share about our transportation programs at the Council on Aging. Like I said people don't know they're really out there necessarily. So if you heard something today regarding transportation that you want to hear more about, or if you have an appointment coming up and you want to arrange a ride, please feel free to call our office. I'll share the number again, 781-316-3400. Now I'm going to invite back Chris Angel. She's our COA administrative assistant. She was here last show with us, and you'll remember her beautiful colored background of newsletters. We're going to call this portion of the show the Newsletter Corner, and we're going to update you each month on what's coming up in the newsletter. So I see Chris has a fresh new April newsletter there. Beautiful, Chris. It's beautiful.
Yep. My favorite part of the job is picking the colors for the next month. Yep.
Great. So what's on the cover this month, Chris?
Well, this month, everybody wants to know about COVID. We can't put a whole lot of information about COVID because by the time the newsletter is published, the information changes because it's changing so quickly. But this month we do have some photos of seniors as they're getting their vaccines. And it's just a good thing to see, a good thing to share, and everyone's feeling excited that we might be able to be getting out a little bit more. So those pictures are a happy thing to look at.
Definitely. When I saw those, I was like, wow, that's compared to last April, when I believe that was the only time we didn't actually print a newsletter because so much was changing and we were in such emergency mode. To have the April newsletter be photos of people getting their vaccine is really uplifting.
Yes, it really is. Yeah.
I know there's a ton more in that newsletter though. So what else is coming up for April? I know something I'm really proud about in Arlington is that we do offer some great programming for LGBTQ plus and friends groups. Is there anything special coming up for that?
I'm really glad you asked me about that because we have two great things coming up in April. We have something called the Sage Table, which is an intergenerational LGBTQ plus event. So that is bringing together seniors and young people and anybody actually who would like to join. And it's a nice, right now it's online, it's virtual, but there is going to be a meal option if you live in Arlington. There's a way of picking up a meal that you can enjoy during this event. And then you go online, there's entertainment and there's conversation and just time together with people of all ages. And then we have another awesome event with the Robbins Library, and it's the Telequare Netflix party, and you can watch a movie and have a discussion. Again, all ages are invited, and it's so fun that it's with the library. So a couple different departments in town, the Rainbow Coalition and the Belmont Council on Aging, they're all part of this. So again, another social event. Right now it's online, it's virtual, but eventually they'll come back to being live in the senior center when we reopen.
Great. Those both sound like a lot of fun. That's exciting. And I know we had such a vibrant caregiver support group before the pandemic, and I heard something about it possibly starting back up for April.
Yes, I'm so excited. Lori August, our social worker that everybody loves here, she is starting up the caregiver group again, and it's once a month. Right now it's virtual, but you can also do it by telephone if you don't have a computer that you want to use. It's going to be once a month. All the information's in the newsletter, and you can always call us as well at our main number, 781-316-3400. It's very isolating to be a caregiver, and Lori's very aware of that. And especially now with COVID, people have been isolated more than ever. So this is a great opportunity to get to talk to people about taking care of your loved ones when they might have a medical condition.
Great. Yeah, I hope people feel comfortable reaching out. They may even be a caregiver now and they weren't before the pandemic. So you're welcome to join even if you're new.
And especially a group like this, even if you're a little bit shy and you don't think you want to say very much, just join the group and listen in. You might learn something or just feel a little bit less isolated.
Great suggestion. That's great. And I know you mentioned, most of our calls are about COVID and COVID vaccine, but there's lots of other health programs that are out there. What else is coming up in that?
Yeah, so, well, related to COVID, we do have something called Talk with the Doc, and it is going to be about COVID this month. We have a great doctor from Mount Auburn Hospital, and she will be going over the latest COVID information. She'll know things that are brand new that we weren't able to print because we're printing so early. But then I just want to remind everybody, we have exercise classes almost every day online. So take a look at that. And then we also have something that was really popular about 6 months ago. We're doing it again. It's the knee pain workshop. And people absolutely love this workshop. Knee pain is something that affects a lot of people. This workshop gives all kinds of ideas and information on how to deal with knee pain, things that you might not know about. So definitely think about joining that. And then I just want to mention we have a podiatry clinic, because taking care of your feet is part of taking care of your health. We have a podiatry clinic every month, and we will drive you to that in the van, like Michelle and Jim said. The podiatry clinic is in Medford, but we have free rides, and we can also give you information on how to get there if you have your own transportation. So those are a lot of health-related things that are coming up this month.
So much in that newsletter. So if people want to get the full newsletter, either mailed to their house or how can they get it?
Yeah, give us a call and we'll put you on the mailing list, 781-316-3400. You can talk to Dana or Jeedy, who, by the way, if you're interested in knowing more about Dana and Jeedy, because they are some real favorites of people who call us, there's a little information about them in the newsletter this month. So grab a newsletter and learn more about Dana and Jeedy. And you don't forget, you can get the newsletter at Stop and Shop, several banks throughout town. We do put them in apartment building lobbies. But if there's a place that you would like us to put the newsletter, give us a call. Right now, it's been a little hard to drop the newsletters off because of COVID. Some businesses don't want extra paper in their business. But if you have a place where you'd like us to drop the newsletter, let us know. And again, give us a call, get on the mailing list. Also, if you have internet access, every month the newsletter is on the COA website through the town of Arlington. So arlingtonma.gov/COA. And you can click right on the newsletter and see the latest one.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for the newsletter is so fun, so colorful, and it's chock full of information. So I appreciate, you joining us in the newsletter corner of the program to highlight what's happening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much for another episode of the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. In closing, I wanted to mention briefly that if you are age 65 plus and having trouble securing a vaccine appointment, please give our office a call and we can try our best to help you. Patience is key when it comes to the vaccine and kind of navigating the system to receive your vaccine. But we will help you in any way we can. You can call 781-316-3400. Every day, more and more people are being vaccinated, and we look forward to the coming months when we can start seeing people in person again. We are thinking of having some outdoor events coming up this maybe late spring and summer, as it's safer to come together in very small groups and very conservatively. But we are looking forward to the days that we can see you again. So in closing, our second show for the Arlington 60 Plus Connection, I'm Christine Shaw, Executive Director of the Council on Aging, and we appreciate you being with us.